Alright, and welcome to Day 10 for New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax tournament. We've got Evil coming out to the ring right now. The bell has just been tolling. We'll get things synced up a little bit more accurately once we get into the match, probably, so we can do the 3 counts and whatnot. Los Ingobernables de Japón on the screen, fluttering around. Shot of the dude in the ball cap. Evil's just come out onto the stage, so should be able to get things synced up now. Alright, and if you haven't been able to figure out, I'm skipping the opening matches, because quite frankly trying to keep up with all this commentary plus rendering out the videos and whatnot is it's becoming too much of a chore, you know, and it's hard to do this when it starts feeling like a chore. So I'm just going to be doing the tournament matches from here on out, unless there's something in the prelims that really says watch me, but I kind of doubt it. Opening matches, undercard matches, prelims, whatever you want to call them. No, I'm not going to come over there. He's moved on from just stroking the beard in the evil fashion of beard stroking since movie villain immemorial, I guess, to the one-fingered come here. And we got Toru Yano. So Toru Yano against Evil. This one ought to be interesting. I'd give it a 50-50 to Toru Yano getting a really fast win or absolutely getting his ass kicked. And Evil jumped his ass, so I think the odds are skewing a little bit more towards getting his ass kicked at the moment, although he's going to go after the turnbuckle pad. Evil isn't going to let him do it, but he whips him into the corner and he's going to go back to it. Gucci apparently out to do commentary. Toru Yano I think Evil is more than a little wise to Toru Yano's tricks and is trying his best to not let him use them. But wasting time, not a good idea with Yano. Rolled up, 2, and only 2 count. An atomic drop and slingshot into the exposed turnbuckle. Toru Yano going for the blatant low blow, gets stopped by the ref. He gets the mule kick low blow, but Evil hits his move, 2 and 3, and well, he gets the fast 3 count. I figured this one wouldn't take too long, whoever won. Evil showing some of that strong style resiliency. taking the low blow, shrugging it off to just long enough to hit everything is evil, I believe is the name of the move. It's an STO, a step over toe hold. I forget what the O stands for. Over something, I believe. Or maybe it's sweep toe hold over something, I forget. You hook one leg with your leg, have the arm up into their, across the chest, drive them down into the mat, rattles the head around, knocks the wind out of you. Pretty effective move. Doesn't take a whole lot of preparation, doesn't take long to set it up, so you can hit it pretty quickly. Overall, in terms of, if I would put the Stone Cold Stunner at like a 10 or maybe even 11 in terms of the pinnacle of pro wrestling finishers, the Stone Cold Stunner, the Diamond Cutter, when performed to perfection, of course, a really well executed STO, I'd put it maybe an 8. Maybe even a 9 or a 10, depending on the person. Evil's version of it, I'd put it about an 8. As he really doesn't do anything to try and catch him off guard. Okay, just waiting for the next matchup. I guess I could talk a little bit about B Block. So Evil has actually gone 4 wins in a row at this point. He only lost to SANADA in his first match, so he's doing very well. Yano, unsurprisingly, only 1 win, 4 losses. He usually picks up about 3-4 wins every year. Okay, so now we're having Suzuki against Tama. I did talk about this a bit last time. Both of these guys have a serious issue with tunnel vision on their finishers. Now, it's just a common thing these days. You don't really see a lot of wrestlers who won't try to finish the match with their finisher instead of whatever they can finish the match with. Sometimes they'll have a couple of different ones they'll try to use, a submission hold or some sort of a high impact move. So I'm not saying that these guys are unique and trying to go for their finisher or whatnot, but every now and again you have a guy that'll be out there in the ring and they just get so fixated on trying to hit that one move that they make mistakes and they become predictable, and it's just too easy to telegraph it, see it coming. And both of these guys kind of have that problem. Suzuki, he'll hit that sleeper hold, he'll get it sunk in deep, have the guy going out, but then he'll release it way too soon to try to go for the pile driver. And Tama, he will try to go for that cutter that the gun stun, it's a cutter. He'll try to go for it like 4 or 5 times in a row. And Tama is not even waiting for the music. He is coming out and ambushing them. Interesting tactic. Another observation I made, or have made, is that the Suzuki gun members like to use a lot of cheating and interference. They sometimes seem to forget that they're not the only ones in town that will use the heel tactics. Bullet Club and Los Ingobernables are quite happy to do the same. Perhaps not as persistent in doing so, though. And then now they're just flat out brawling or through the crowd. You know, there's not really much I can say about this. I mean, they're brawling through the audience and throwing things in each other's faces, and Tonga stealing a drink off of somebody. Are they finally going to get to the ring? No, they're going to go the other way. Suzuki may be getting the upper hand at this point. You know, I used to watch ECW tapes, and they would do this sort of stuff all the time. And as a fan watching on tape, it seems exciting and fun and whatnot, but as I've gotten older, I've realized it's not much fun for the crowd that's there, since they can't really see jack, except for the ones who are right there. We finally get to the ring. Tonga apparently thirsty. Grabbing another drink. And pouring the rest of the water all over Suzuki. And now they're going to go off into the other part of the audience. Well, I guess this is how they're dealing with the audience not being able to see it very well, because they're trying to make sure everybody gets a close-up. And a little chair choke in there. Suzuki kicking the young lions, as he does. Little chokey. And why the ref hasn't just counted them both the hell out at this point, I don't know. I guess he's trying to get them to at least get into the ring once. And they do! Miracle of miracles. Suzuki looking rather perturbed. Flurry of strikes. Is that going to make any damn difference at all? Not really. And back to the outside. Oh, now it's this part of the audience's turn. Come on, camera dude, get the hell out of the way. Oh, Suzuki gonna play with the guardrails now. He likes playing with the guardrails. No, he's gonna play with a chair. Tawatanga's gonna play with the bell mallet. Hey, we're watching the same thing, folks. I can only say so much about this. I mean, I try to call the matches and, talk about the holds and whatnot as best I can as a fan. And there's not much I can say about this. I mean, they're brawling on the outside and hitting each other with things. I mean, so far, Tonga is at 2 wins, 2 losses. Suzuki, same thing, 2 wins, 2 losses. So neither one doing that great in the tournament so far, but also not doing terrible. They don't really have any must-win mentality beyond the obvious desire to win. I mean, I don't think either one of them would be eliminated, even by any means, by losing this match, although it wouldn't put them in a very good position. I mean, 5 matches in, 3 losses, 2 wins is not a good spot to be in, but for anybody, but it's not an elimination situation. And it kind of just seems that these two just don't like each other. Which, in the case of Suzuki, I don't think he likes anybody. Tonga, perhaps just trying to prove that Suzuki isn't as much of a scary badass as a lot of people would like to think, or as he would like people to think. But so far, he hasn't done much anything to prove otherwise. Suzuki's matched him pretty much blow for blow all the way through this. Just trading some forearms and slaps on the outside. Tonga. They're going to try and choke each other. Almost a count out there. Nice to see the ref does know how to count. Very stiff shots from Suzuki. Into the corner with a big kick. Snapmare, gonna look for the PK, and hits it. 1, 2, only 2 count. Nice drop kick. A little bit of a desperation move, but sends Suzuki flying. Created some separation. He probably could have done with a little bit of a weight there. Suzuki pulls the ref in front of Tonga, which is going to open the door for interference. Or just Suzuki going after another chair. Tonga has a chair himself, and apparently has laid out Desperado on the outside. They weren't showing what was going on there. Chair duel, chair duel. Nice counter to the sleeper. Suzuki using that shoot wrestling experience. Tonga gets the cutter, but the ref is MIA. And it's actually pretty damn rare. The ref took the full force of that splash in the corner. That sort of thing doesn't happen very often in New Japan at all. I mean, they'll screw with the refs a little bit here and there, but the refs very rarely take bumps like that. Tonga perhaps being a bit too cocky, and here, like I said, a little too narrow focused on trying to hit that cutter, which sets him up for the sleeper, trying to get out of it, but he's not succeeding. But will Suzuki go for the pile driver too quick? Nope, he's got it. 1, 2, and 3. Tonga able to use that maneuverability, that talent he has for counter wrestling. He was able to get out of the sleeper hold pile driver combo attempt the first time, but Suzuki's pulling the ref in front of him, well, rather into the position to take the big splash in the corner, paid off in the end because Tonga had nobody there to do the 3 count off that cutter. Alright, so that puts Suzuki 3 and 2. Tonga goes down 2-3. So again, as I was saying earlier, I don't think either one of Tonga would be eliminated at this point. Okada coming into this with, and Suzuki's going to screw with the Young Lions again, as he does after every match. Well, as I was saying about Okada, he's coming in with 4 wins. So he's got 8 points. Match on this card, plus another 4 to go. Another 10 points possible. But that's also another 8 points that Suzuki, or well, Tonga was who I was talking about, that he could pick up. So he could potentially still get up to 12 points. So, no, I don't think Tonga's in that. I mean, he's not in a great position, but I don't think he's doing too bad. So far, as far as I can tell, the only ones who I would say are pretty much done are Nagata is certainly eliminated from A block. Yoshihashi is effectively eliminated, dropping 4 losses to 1 win. And having lost to Tanahashi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Naito, who are all... I mean, Naito dropped another loss to Ishii, but he's still got 6 points. And Zack Sabre Jr. also has dropped down 3-2, but that still puts him at 6 points, and Tanahashi sitting pretty with 4 wins and 1 loss at 8 points. So, as I said, technically not eliminated yet, but Yoshihashi effectively eliminated at this point. Nagata actually is eliminated, having dropped actually 5 losses to 0 wins. And Kojima for the B block here, have to kind of say that he's probably effectively eliminated as well. SANADA, well, we'll talk more about Kojima and all that when we get to his match. SANADA not doing too bad, not doing too great. 2 wins, 2 losses. Elgin, also 2 wins, 2 losses. I'd say this is a similar situation to the last match. It's not make or break at this point for either guy, but another loss is going to make it a lot harder to potentially get that win. Elgin actually working some momentum here. He's won his last 2, so he's coming into this, as I said, with some momentum. SANADA won his first match, lost 2, won his last match, so also coming into this with a little bit of momentum. But his last match was against Yano, so in terms of the warrior spirit, biggest badass type of momentum that is predominant in New Japan, beating Yano is no big thing. He's more the one that, you know, you just kind of, you don't let him out-trick you. Alrighty. So, not a huge clash of styles here. There's some differences. SANADA, the smaller of the two, muscle-wise, but also the faster. So I'd say probably a pretty even matchup. You know, what Elgin gives up in speed, he makes up in strength and vice versa. Not sure about the experience edge. SANADA trying for a headlock takeover, gets caught, flips out of the backdrop attempt, blocks the suplex attempt. Shoulder block. Elgin predictably gets the better of it. I think this is a situation where Elgin needs to just play his game. This is probably one of those times when being a bit safe would play to his, would benefit him, play to his strengths. Nice counter, though. Not saying a good surprise here and there isn't a good thing, but what I mean is that SANADA is actually pretty good at counter wrestling. He's good at being unpredictable to a degree himself, so just doing stuff like that, outpowering him, is going to be Michael Elgin's best bet, I think. 1, 2, only a 2 count. While SANADA, he's going to need to use that speed. He's going to want to stick and move, try to avoid the big power moves, avoid the high impact. Into the ropes, but catches. Elgin up and over, SANADA flying. No, he's going to fake him out. And playing some head games. Not a bad strategy. Although Elgin generally not one to lose his cool. He's had to deal with Naito and the rest of Los Ingobernables enough times to know better than to fall for their head games. Another big chop. Hard forearm. Gonna go for the stall suplex. Got him up. And takes him down. And Elgin playing some mind games of his own. Like I said, he has enough experience dealing with these guys to fall for it. What you gonna do? SANADA's gonna get in the ring. And Elgin sees the double cross, if you will. It's not really a double cross, but ooh. A rope stunner and a drop kick. Up and over. Glancing blow, still manages to take Elgin off his feet. Definitely didn't get a whole lot of impact on that. Gonna go for the guardrail. Gonna lay some boots in there. Maybe looking like he's gonna go for that tie-up that he likes to do. Elgin trying to fight free. Might have some real trouble doing this to Elgin. He's trying to use the rope to assist, but Elgin got his hands free. Elgin trying to fight him off with some clubbing blows, a big chop there. SANADA answers. Gonna trade chops and slaps, see who gives in first. No, SANADA's gonna go for the eyes. Leapfrog, going for the leapfrog. SANADA gets caught. Didn't get hit with a suplex, does take the power slam. This is where SANADA does not want to be, on the receiving end of those power moves. But he's managed to keep Elgin off his game plan enough to wear him down some. Big flying forearm. Elgin, of course, coming off that absolute war with Kenny Omega. Elgin managing to pick up a win there. Electric chair drop. Don't see that very often. Deadlift German. 1, 2, only 2 count. As I was saying, Elgin managing to pick up that win against Omega, but really having to leave everything he had in the ring to do it. No doubt both of those guys having to dig way down deep to get through that match. Sort of thing that could weaken you, tire you out trying to get through the rest of the tournament. Even with light work days and the occasional days off, Most of the time those days off means they're on the road getting from place to place, so it's not like they're able to just do R&R. SANADA looking for a sunset flip bomb. Elgin holding on. Trying to get him, trying to power bomb him here. Elgin refusing to let go. Now he has him. Power bomb, but does not have enough energy there to keep him down for a pin. Can't follow up. Looking for maybe a side suplex. Elgin trying to fight him off, succeeding. Chop, slap, chop, slap, forearm, forearm, forearm. Elgin going for the discus forearm, but gets caught with a spinning kick. Don't see that from SANADA much. 2 and only a 2 count. Dropping him on the mat, looking for the moonsault. Nobody home. Elgin with the clubbing clothesline blows. Back and forth. Gonna look for the big one. But gets stopped. Drop kick. I don't have to take Elgin off his feet. Reversal. Gonna look for the springboard drop kick and hits it. Elgin rolling to the outside. Probably a good idea. Counters and counters to the counters. And continuing the trend with the counter wrestling going on there. Elgin gets the better of it in the end with that big forearm. Calling for a clothesline. Gonna leapfrog, and gets caught with a power bomb. 1, 2, only 2 count. Again, SANADA likes to go for the double leapfrog into that drop kick. Elgin clearly has that scouted. So twice now he's managed to break up the sequence. But slow to get up. He needs to try and stay on SANADA. Take him out. SANADA getting to the outside. Elgin maybe looking for a suplex on the apron. He did a short backdrop on the apron earlier. Apron is the hardest part of the ring, part that gives the least. And hits it. Belly to back release suplex onto the apron. He needs to try and drag SANADA in and get that pin. Oh, possibly going to go for the big Falcon Arrow from the top. Seems to be what he's calling for. Wasting time with the fans, though. Just a few seconds, but that's seconds that SANADA can use to get his breath back. Elgin has him up. Is he going to hit it? And he does. 1, 2, only 2 count. Elgin a little bit flustered. Was looking for the buckle bomb there. Got stopped. Kick got stopped. Stops the cold skull. 2 count. SANADA. Almost taking a page out of Naito's book there, but doesn't go down into the actual DDT, just sticks it into the finisher, the submission here. He has it locked in pretty damn tight. Pressure right around the skull, wrenching back on the neck. Now going to go for a moonsault. Hits it. Is that going to be enough? 1, 2, and 3. SANADA gets the win. I'd say it's probable that Elgin's match with Omega played a part in this. He didn't seem to be quite at full capacity, you know, working to his best there. Whereas SANADA, coming off of his match with Toru Yano, a lot more time to rest, had a much lighter match, had almost certainly played a part. So that puts Elgin down 3 losses, 2 wins, 2-3, and SANADA goes up 3-2. Again, nobody eliminated there. And at this point, Kojima, as I said, almost certainly eliminated. He's coming up next. He's going up against Kenny Omega. We'll have to see if Kojima can pick up a win here. Again, Omega coming off that absolute war with Elgin. Kojima coming out first. Definitely an interesting situation for Kenny Omega through that match and going forward. He's showing just how tough he can be in those matches with Okada and others, including Elgin. But in a tournament situation, you have to always consider that every match is only 2 points individually. Throughout the course of the tournament, you have 9 matches you have to get through. You have a potential 18 points you can get. Dropping 1 loss is not the end of the tournament for you. And Omega took an absolute brutal beating from Michael Elgin, especially towards the end of that match, where Elgin was just busting out everything he possibly could, every move he could think of, and get Omega into. He was hitting it, and Omega just did not want to stay down for that 3 count until finally at the end, after taking the burning hammer, he just couldn't get up. So you have to ask the question, did he sacrifice his stamina moving forward through the tournament just to try to keep up with Okada, because you have to think that that's on Omega's mind. He wants to try to match Okada. Of course, coming out, he's not going to let it show, but his performance in this match will be telling. Was he able to weather the storm without lasting damage and effect? Kojima coming into this 4 straight losses. If he loses here, then he is pretty much done. I'd say he's already pretty much eliminated, just not technically. But if he loses this match, he will be technically eliminated regardless of any other matches, because he's lost to Okada. Okada has already won 4 matches to get 8 points. Even if Okada somehow were to lose every single match going forward, the most points Kojima could get is 8 if he loses this match. So in order to stay alive, he would actually have to win every single match going forward, and everybody else would have to lose or draw. Although the main loss for Kojima so far, he's lost to Juice Robinson, Toru Yano, Michael Elgin, and Okada. So he actually, the other guys that he's lost to haven't been doing the best in the tournament so far. So Okada is really the main issue for Kojima at the moment. If he can win this match, he potentially could still be alive in the tournament as long as Okada loses. But then Okada would have to keep losing, which is really the issue. Coming into the tournament and through all of his tournament matches so far, Okada has seemed pretty much unbeatable. And Juice Robinson is coming in injured, so the chances of him being able to take Okada down for a 3 count or a submission, pretty damn slim. But let's take the focus off the overall tournament and let's get into the match. We've got these two trading some blows, going back and forth a little bit. Kojima been having some issues with getting gassed out early. So you have to consider that the longer this match goes, the more in Omega's favor it will be. Again, assuming that his match with Elgin didn't wipe him out a lot worse than he would like everybody to think. Stiff forearm there. Maybe a mistake. Kojima, old school strong style guy. Looking for a suplex from the ropes, but doesn't get it. Omega, I don't know why, but he's messing with Tenzan. We actually kind of saw this from Okada as well. Kind of gives the impression again that Omega's trying to one-up Okada or outdo him. I don't know what the deal is, and made a mistake, took his eyes off Kojima. Kojima going for that slingshot cross-body. Did not connect. Not a lot of impact, but body slam on the apron there. Still quite painful. Kojima managing to get back in before the count's over. Omega just kind of toying with him at this stage. It's just driving him back into the turnbuckle. And again, focusing on the lower back. Just the back in general. Straight body slam. Elbow drop with some theatrics. Reminiscent of Kijimuto, as a matter of fact. Full Nelson with a knee. Again, keeping the focus of his attack on the back. Not really going to help set up any of his usual finishes. Another couple of stiff strikes. Kojima trying to fire back. But basically just collapsing there. He's not been doing too well through the tournament. Not just win-loss wise, he's been having a hard time keeping up with guys. Omega looking to flip over, hits it, going to go for the moonsault, and hits it. 1, 2, only 2 count. Kind of have to wonder if, like Nagata, Kojima has allowed himself to get psyched right out of the tournament at this point. I think Nagata announcing that it was going to be his last year to do the G1 tournament, he might have gotten in his own head in a way, set himself up for failure. Kojima manages to avoid the backsplash in the corner, goes for the cutter but can't get it. Floors Omega, and again. Omega switching focus there to go after Tenzan. Now, as I recall, Okada never actually laid hands on Tenzan, although he did more than hint at the idea that he could take them both on at the same time. It's like Omega might actually be trying to do it. And again, taking his eyes off Kojima to mess with Tenzan, he gets caught. Some lightning jumps. Omega gonna do it himself, maybe. Laying him some big chops. Back and forth. Snapmare, spinal tap. Ouchie. Only two count. That's kind of a weird... He just did a chop. I'm just not sure what to say about that. And again, he's taking his eyes off Kojima to mess with Tenzan. Koji hitting some Mongolian chops. Doesn't get quite the impact that Tenzan gets off of those things. Still looks like it would hurt. And it just rips his shirt right the hell off. Goes back to the lightning chops. Omega being a bit silly. Into the corner. Hits the flying forearm. Gets the shout from the crowd. Gonna go for the elbow drop. Actually gonna make it up this time. Nope. In for superplex. Not sure what he's aiming to do here. Kojima fights him off. They get back on him. Big chop. Going back. Again, looking for the suplex. Okay, he's looking to do that cross-legged. Normally he would do that onto his knee, but this time he just uses it as a modified superplex. A lot of impact though. 1, 2, and only 2 count. Kojima having trouble standing up. Omega gonna go for the version onto his knee. Hits it. And again, taking his eyes off Kojima to mess with Tenzan. But Kojima not able to capitalize. Gets hit with the V trigger full on. He gonna go for the one wing angel? Kojima gets out of it. DDT. But can't capitalize. Cannot follow up. Kojima looking in a bad way here. In fact, he's had very little answer to Omega's offense through this match. When he has managed to get the upper hand, it seems to have mostly been because Omega was screwing around. Trading forearms. Who will give first? Perhaps not the best idea for Omega here. Kojima, again, old school strong style guy. But gets caught with the knee. Omega gonna go for the one-winged angel again. Kojima getting out of it again, hits a brainbuster. but is too worn down to get the pin. He's crawling over. 1, 2, only 2 count. Kojima looking for the clothesline to get stopped. Takes the super kick. Not going off his feet, though. Omega looking for the Snapdragon. Doesn't hit it. Takes a big clubbing clothesline to the back of the head. Kojima going for the clothesline again, but Omega hits him with the knee. Gonna look for the knee again, but takes the big clothesline. Kojima hits the clothesline, but he doesn't have it in him to get the pin yet. He needs to try and get that pin. I'm not sure he got a full impact on the clothesline either. But if he can nail Omega with that clothesline again, that is a move that Kojima has used to great effect through his career. Fire Thunder Driver. No. Emerald Fusion. 1, 2. Oh, only 2 count. Kojima goes for the clothesline, takes another big flying knee. Omega trying to hook the Snapdragon again, hits it. Hits another big knee, the V trigger. 1, 2, only 2 count. He wants the one winged angel again. Can he hit it this time? And he hits it. 1, 2, and 3. It's over. And that effectively eliminates Kojima. Going down just like Nagata, 5 losses in a row. No, that's a technical. Kojima is eliminated. The most points he could get going forward would be 8, and he's already lost to Okada, who has 8. In fact, Omega now has 8 as well. Omega leaving, forgetting his title. And now we're going into the main event. Juice Robinson facing off with Okada. And Juice Robinson won against Kojima, has lost 3 in a row now against Evil, Suzuki, and Tonga. It's only his first year in the tournament, his first time, so not surprising that he's not gonna do the greatest. But I'm sure he would have liked to have performed better than he has so far. He's been hampered by some nagging injuries. He had some difficulties with his neck a bit early on. Has had persistent problems with his knees since about the second match, I think. Exacerbated greatly by Suzuki. Seems to be moving a little bit better in this going into this match, so perhaps finally healing up a bit. Still, as I said earlier, Okada coming in seems pretty much unbeatable. You don't want to be going up against Okada with any kind of nagging injuries. So Okada wins this match. He will actually go up 5 wins in a row, 10 points. I don't think that will really change anything in terms of the block. Let's see. Well, a loss here would eliminate Juice Robinson as well, since going forward, only 4 more matches after this one. He could only, if he loses here, he would only be able to get a maximum of 10 points, so he would be eliminated. Toru Yano would also be technically eliminated because he's only had 1 win as well and has lost to Okada. And another win here for Okada would not eliminate, say, Elgin and... let's see... yeah, Elgin is the one sitting at 2 wins and 3 losses, so while technically he wouldn't be eliminated since he did lose to Okada already, it would be possible for him to stay alive if Okada can lose here and keep losing, and he would have to keep winning, obviously. But a loss or a win here for Okada would make things extremely unlikely for make it extremely unlikely Elgin can get a win in the tournament for this block. And just, of course, overall, 5 wins in a row would just make it that much harder for anyone else in the block to get a win, realistically, because everybody else except Evil and Omega are at least 2 losses down. Okada could very well be looking to sweep the block this year and is well on track to doing it. But let's see what Juice can do. While his chances of winning the block are extremely slim, even with a win here, getting a win in this match, I mean, if he were to just say, screw the rest of the tournament and throw himself, mind, body, soul, balls to the wall into this match to try to get that win over Okada, he could get a title shot out of it. He almost certainly would. So it's definitely a potential game plan on the part of Juice. Okada playing to the fans. Gets caught. Nice little drop toe hold right onto the chair. Shall I say that was a little too obvious, but what the hell. Big boot over the guardrail. Oh, Okada pretty damn nonchalant at the moment. That could work in Juice's favor if Okada really just takes him way too lightly. That could bite him in the ass in the end. It's the body slam up and over. Juice's knees obviously still bothering him. He was moving a bit gingerly when he came in, so that's not a surprise. As I said, he only appeared to be moving a bit better. Didn't seem to be limping as much. Trading some blows there. Okada stopping him, hits the neck breaker. 1, 2, only 2 count. And gonna take a bit of a breather. Okada gets a bit of a rest, making Juice fight. Just a good old-fashioned chin lock, knee in the back. Simple but effective. Juice almost fighting free, not quite able to. Stiff shots to the gut, but Okada hits the body slam. Old school body slam. Doesn't hit the senton. Running in, looking for the big elbow. Juice hits that DDT he's been using. I think he's usually uses it as a reverse DDT. Hit it to the front that time, face plant style. Simple body splash. Side Russian leg sweep. And he hits the senton. Big splash. 1, 2, only 2 count. Okada going after the legs. Don't usually see him doing much in the way of picking apart picking a body part and trying to take it down, but he does occasionally employ submission holds. Juice probably going to look for the tumbleweed or cannonball if you prefer. Hits it. 1, 2, only 2 count. On the shoulders. He's looking to drill Okada's chest first onto his knees, but got caught there. Kind of a modified figure 4. You can see the joint manipulation there, putting pressure on both knees. Juice trying to get to the ropes, a little bit short. He's gonna have to move a little bit further. There you go. But has enough damage already been done? A lot of his offense comes from his legs. Okada trying to stay on the knees, trying to stay on the legs. It's the big DDT. This time, the way he's been hitting it usually is a reverse DDT. Throwing his body out behind him. Getting all that momentum, weight behind the impact. Going for the jabs. Can he hit the haymaker? Gets blocked. Okada looking for the tombstone. Juice gets out of it. Like a big forearm there. Looking for a suplex on the outside. Okada stopping it. That could finish a match. Okada trying to bring Juice back into the ring the hard way. Both out on the apron. Juice gets rocked. But it's the kick. Gonna look for a power bomb here. Pile driver maybe. Okada trying to fight free. Pile driver on the apron could also finish a match. But Juice takes the big spill backdrop. But that is the sort of thing Juice is going to have to do. He's going to have to try to hit Okada with something hard enough to wipe him out. And try to just knock him cold. Okada has proven that he's incredibly resilient. He's taken everything everyone can throw at him. Just barely getting back in the ring in time to answer the count, but he does. Last year, big surprise, Marufuji from Noah, I believe, Pro Wrestling Noah, dropped Okada in their very first match of the tournament. Big surprise for pretty much everyone, I think. Marufuji was able to do a lot of counters into very stiff kicks. Going for the Rainmaker, gets caught. Big full Nelson slam. Juice has got to muscle through the pain. He's got to stay on top of Okada. Follow up. Not able to do it. Looking for maybe a power bomb. Okada gonna fight free. Hits drop kick. Not a lot of height, but got some good impact. And bad idea wasting time playing to the audience. It takes Okada's big drop kick. Okada wants the Rainmaker. Juice avoids it. Misses the clothesline. Hits the reverse. 1, 2, only 2 count. This is where Juice needs to pull something out of his ass. He needs to come up with something new. Do something that Okada isn't going to be able to predict. Drills him on his knees. He went for that earlier and couldn't get it. 1, 2, only 2 count. And he's going to go for the unprettier. Not a great move. Precisely why. It's way too easy to get out of it. Takes the tombstone. But Okada is not able to follow up himself. He's definitely gotten worn down through the match. Okada getting to his feet. He's probably going to look for that Rainmaker. Again, Juice not completely out of it. Not able to get up, though. Okada taunting him. Okada, this definitely could be a mistake. Letting Robinson get to his feet. Talking trash, pissing him off. Big boot just nailed Robinson right in the face. Pardon me. Okada really showing his cockiness here. He's not taking Robinson seriously at all at this point. Big axe kick. Sorry about that. Robinson shooting in, but gets caught. Avoids the neck breaker, getting him up. Power bomb. Huge impact. 1, 2, only a 2 count. And Okada may have made a big mistake there. Robinson going for the unprettier again. But Okada gets out of it, hits an abbreviated Rainmaker. Didn't get quite the full impact. He's probably going to go for a full version of it. He has wrist control. And hits it again. Well, technically that's just a short arm clothesline. Now he's calling for the full-on Rainmaker. Robinson knew it was coming, answered with a really, really stiff forearm. Gonna go for the unprettier again. Gets caught again. And Rainmaker. 1, 2, and 3. And Superman Okada wins again. So that is Juice effectively, well, technically eliminated, so he could only potentially get, well, he won once, but he's, so he could potentially get 10 points, so I guess technically, no, yeah, that's right. Okada now has 10 points, Juice can only get 10 points, so there's no way he can win. He's been eliminated. Kojima was eliminated with that loss. Yano eliminated. And Elgin not technically eliminated, but at this point the most, well, actually yes, Elgin has been eliminated as well. No, he's still potentially in this, but very unlikely. That's right, 2 wins, 3 losses. So, but one of those losses was to Okada. So, in order to stay in this, Elgin would need Okada to lose all of his upcoming matches and win all of his own to get 12 points and stay just ahead of Okada. Okada would have to lose all but potentially 1 draw. So Elgin not eliminated, but all but. Evil still doing pretty good with 4 wins, 1 loss. Omega 4 wins, 1 loss. SANADA 3 wins, 2 losses, not horrible. Suzuki 3 wins, 2 losses, not doing horrible. Tonga, same boat as Elgin, 2 wins, 3 losses. But he hasn't faced Okada yet. But he has lost to Kenny Omega. He's lost to Evil. Who are both doing pretty damn good. So Tonga not in the best spot. So that wraps up Day 10, Night 10 of the tournament. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to check out the links below for some of the stuff that I do, music and games and t-shirts and stuff to support the channel. That's always appreciated. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave comments, and all the other good YouTuber stuff. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.